you are coming on Sunday, and I'm going to show them around Madrid.
Heck yeah, that's cool. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, that'd be really fun. All right,
Yeah.
and Juliet, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Nice, nice. Welcome back. How is it going?
Thank you. It's going well.
Okay, good to hear. Um, and yeah, what's your day like? You still working on your road project?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, all right. Well, good luck with that, I guess. All right. And I think that's everybody. Let's get started. We can talk about education. Let's have Lisa. Can you read the title in the next lines?
Education. Today we will read quotations about education, learn educational idioms, read comics, and practice role plays.
Okay, nice. Really well done. And read comics and practice role plays. Let's have Lisa. Can you ask Heidi the first question?
What is your favorite memory from your time in school?
Oh, sorry, Lisa. All you do is ask the question. We'll get to you. We'll just go in a cycle. So you ask the question. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so Heidi will answer. Go ahead, Heidi.
Japanese schools every day has some short trip. When I was junior high school, we went to Tokyo with classmates and even teachers. That was the first time. I was living in the countryside that time. I was very surprised. It was very brilliant. Tokyo was very brilliant.
Nice.
And a little terrible.
And a little terrible?
Yeah, because there are a lot of people walking down the street. And the shops are very great. I'd never seen that in countryside.
Shops are very what?
Very big and
okay.
They are selling the things that I had seen in the magazine or something.
Okay, and they were selling things I'd only ever seen in magazines.
Magazine or TV.
Or on TV. Okay. We need a preposition.
In the countryside?
Here. So, same preposition. So it is in. When I was in junior high, we went to Tokyo. And then an article?
A countryside?
Not
In the?
Yeah, it's the countryside. It's kind of like one of those big ideas that's all inclusive. So like any countryside is the countryside. It doesn't make
in the countryside.
No, we'd say in the countryside. Again, it's like in the ocean. There are more than one ocean. There are more than one oceans, but we would say the ocean. It went to the ocean, the beach. Like,
in a small town.
In a small town would work. Yeah. And the countryside is just a weird one where it's kind of an idea that everything is grouped together.
There were.
I think there were a lot of people in the shops. Very big. Okay. Nice. Heidi, can you ask Julieta the next question?
Who was your favorite teacher in school? Why?
One of my favorite teachers was my French teacher. Unfortunately, my English teacher was not among my favorite.
Oh no, why not?
Because there was one episode. She said that she would have a text about Geoffrey Chaucer.
About who?
Chaucer, Geoffrey Chaucer.
Oh, Chaucer. Chaucer.
Heavily to Chaucer. Okay, that guy. And so it was about a story of the Canterbury Tales. And so I went to the library and I paged of the book and I selected 10 stories.
You did
Well,
what with the book?
When you page a book, paged,
You checked out a book?
Okay, check out the book.
So if you check out a book, you like take it out of the library. If you like flip through the pages, is that what you're talking about? Like flipping through the pages? You paged through the
Yes.
book? Okay, I paged through the book.
Paged through the book. So, and I selected 10 stories, and one of them was one of the text was that one of the text, and so she said that I cheated, and
What?
yeah, because I was the only one who was able to do all the stuff there, and so for that I took 3 over 10, and well,
What? I would have murdered her.
yeah.
That sounds terrible. Chaucer is really difficult to read too. He's definitely not the easiest. Wow. Yeah. Stupid English teachers. All right, that sounds terrible though. Anna Carolina, welcome to the class. How's it going?
Hello, Zosa.
Hey. Nice
I'm
to see
happy
you.
to listen to your voice and to see you all. But as you know, I've been sad, and you know why. I can't believe that after February we won't have it anymore.
No, I know.
Oh, don't tell me.
Yeah, but yeah, not much to do at the moment, I guess. Just a shame. Yeah, well, we've got until February at least. 18th. And Ken, welcome to class. How's it going?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. It's nice to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, and welcome to class. Right, and I think we're with Julieta. Can you ask Edson this next question?
Edson, did you procrastinate studying? Did you have a pull an all-nighter?
Yeah, procrastinated when I was in high school, and it was why I reproved on one scholar year, and I had to recover what I reproved, and it was not so easy because a lot of classes to do again was really really difficult, mainly language class, because I had a lot of I had troubles in languages to learn because I was bad at languages. I think I am still yet bad at language, but I'm improving.
Nice. That's the most important thing. But improving. We would say I was held back 1 year.
Okay.
At the beginning here, we need a subject, past
Yeah,
tense.
I procrastinated when I was in high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. I procrastinated when I was in high school. That was why I was held back 1 year. It was not so easy. I had to take a lot of classes again, mainly language classes. I had trouble. Yeah, so I made the corrections in capital letters. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and I'm kind of interested. Let's do with everybody get a question. So Edson, can you ask Anna Carolina one of these questions, whichever one you want, or you can make up a question if you want.
And did you procrastinate studying?
No. Um, well, when I was in school, I I didn't because I used to study in a full day school, and we have time to do homework. You know, there was a time set up for to do homework. But when I was in college, I did high school and college. Both high school and college, I I did procrastinate because I was more interested in having fun, you know.
Mhm. Okay. And really nicely done. So there was one thing we don't want to do homework, just to do homework. Other than that, really nicely done. Anna Carolina, can you ask one of the questions or make up a question for Simone?
Simone, when you were a child, um, which kind of student do you used to be?
Were you?
Were you?
I think the best kind because I loved studying.
Loved
Studying
studying. You can say that, or just studying.
And so I used to be a good one. Like I didn't have all the books because my parents couldn't buy them. But what I did, I wrote down all the books I needed. So I think I was a good one.
You wrote down all the books you needed?
Yeah, I did it.
What do you mean?
I mean that some colleagues lended me books, and I used my notebook to write down everything
Oh wow.
because I couldn't buy the books.
Let me. That's a good way to remember something. Then maybe their books.
Yeah,
And I copied them
exactly.
in my notebooks.
That time maybe we didn't have these copy machines, so
Yeah,
I just had to do it by hand.
Holy smokes. Yeah, that's nuts. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, but it was good because I was this #1 student after this. So good.
Yeah, no, it's a really good way to memorize things. It just takes a long time. That's really just impressive, though. Yeah, why aren't you teaching? Jeez. That's great, though. Simone, can you ask Lisa one of the questions or make up a question of your own?
Okay, Lisa, who was your favorite teacher in school? Why?
In school, in high school, I had a really great teacher in math. My favorite teacher was math teacher, and I studied a lot of maths. So he was for us a really important teacher because I studied in high school with math was important, very important.
I studied in what school?
I don't know what liceo. I don't know in English. It's a particular school, scientific license. I don't know. I try. I don't know. Is at a school where we can study mathematics, science, and technical all technical matter.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a possessive pronoun here.
My pronoun was
My favorite teacher was blank math teacher.
mm, was
Possessive pronoun. So, does
my
anybody?
my,
Yeah.
my math teacher.
Studied a lot of math. He was, for us, a really important teacher because I studied in a scientific school. We studied a lot of math. Okay, nice.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. And let's go and have Heidi. Can you read through the words?
Accessible. Alternative. Facilitate. Facilitate. Compulsory. Pedagogy. Evaluation. Interactor. Vocational.
Nice. Maybe pedagogy
Pedagogy.
and compulsory.
Compulsory.
Compulsory. Compulsory.
Compulsory. Thanks, Julieta. And questions here. Does anybody have any questions about any of these? Okay, nobody? What's maybe pedagogy? Heidi, can you make a sentence with pedagogy?
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
Okay, can anybody explain what pedagogy means?
I was a little distracted.
That's okay. Who knows what pedagogy means?
Okay. How to educate the student like that. The study education.
Yeah, like the study of teaching.
Teaching.
Like the philosophy of a teacher is their pedagogy. Good. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think we're good. And so you guys don't have any other questions, so I guess we're good. Let's go on to something else. And let's try these. Let's have Julieta. Can you read through the idioms?
Draw a blank. Blank out. Learn something by heart. School of thought.
Good. Do you know any of them?
Yes. For example, draw a blank is when you don't remember and your mind is a blank.
Yeah. And how would you use it in a sentence?
I drew a blank yesterday during the exam. I couldn't answer.
Really well done. Edson, do you know any of the others?
Learn by heart.
What's it mean?
Is to memorize the I don't know, the words or the material that you need to take the exam.
Yeah. I think, even just like to memorize words or material.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't have to be like taking an exam to learn something by heart. You can just do it because you want to. How'd you use it in a sentence?
I had to I had to learn by heart the words before I take the exam.
Before I past tense?
Before taking the exams.
Take is the present.
I mean taking the exam.
Hmm. Does anybody know the past tense of to take?
Before I took the exam.
Yeah, there you go. We would probably put the words somewhere else here.
I had to learn by heart before.
Mm,
Oh, I had to learn the words by heart.
good. Yeah, I had to learn the words by heart. Perfect. Really nicely done. Can you read that one more time?
I had to learn the words by heart before I took the exam.
Good. And all right, Anna Carolina, of the remaining two, do you know any of them?
Yes, I know. Um, Edson just told us right now that he had flunked out of school 1 year.
Flunk out. He stayed back. Well, flunking out is different. Flunking out is being like,
Okay.
leave and do not come back, kind of.
Okay. Edson just told us that he went back a year in his school. In he, he was held back a year in school. In some countries, it would be enough to be flunked out.
Hmm? Enough to flunk someone out. Yeah, okay. Or it was maybe close to being flunked out, or he was close to being flunked out. Yeah, but good. If you're held back, sometimes you can flunk some courses, but like flunking out is, once you're kicked out of the school, you can't go there anymore. Nice. This is good. Simone, what about a school of thought?
Never heard of it.
Hmm.
Don't know.
Like, hmm.
Mm, I
It's like
really
a.
don't.
Does anybody know? Can anybody explain it? So,
It's an idea, and maybe you share your idea, so you are school of thought about this idea.
yeah, so an idea or philosophy that is shared by a group of people
Okay.
is a school of thought. So, do you know an example? Like, what would be an example of a school of thought?
It's like Aristotle or something like that.
Yeah, so like, kind of like Greek philosophy would be a school of thought, but also like, if you think like more modern, you could talk about like romantic poets would be a school of thought. The beat poets would be a school of thought.
Mm.
Yeah, like Gothic writers, school of thought, sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah, those are all schools of thought.
Yeah.
How'd you use in a sentence?
Mm. Uh, Sometimes it's interesting to notice how some school of thoughts are related, even though they are in different times. I don't know.
They are separated
Developed.
by
I
time.
don't know. Yeah. Good.
Okay. And nice. Like what? What schools of thought are very
I
similar?
don't know. I just made up this.
Okay. I don't know if you had a specific example that you were thinking of.
No.
All right. And does anybody have any questions here?
Yes, what does held back mean?
Edson, can you explain what held back means? Edson?
Hello? What?
Hey. Hey. Can you explain what held back means?
Hold back?
Yeah, what does
Ha-
held back mean?
Oh, it's like to lose a year,
Huh?
lose something.
Lose a year in school.
Yeah.
To move, or like to stay in the same grade for 2 years. To stay in the same year for 2 years. Would be that.
Same grade.
Yeah. Yeah, year and grade. Grade is more American English and year is more British English. If that makes any sense. Okay. And any other questions? Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's look. Let's look at this one. And let's have. Where were we? Simone answered last. Heidi, can you read the role of the teacher? And Giulietta, can you read the role of Calvin?
Comically. Do you have a question, Calvin?
Yes. What assurance do I have that this education is adequately preparing me for the 21st century? Am I getting the skills I need to effectively compete in a tough global economy? I want a high-paying job when I get out of here. I want opportunity.
In that case, young man, I suggest you start working harder. What you get out of school depends on what you put into it.
Then forget it.
Nice. That sounded great, you guys. Heidi, what's happening here?
Carl want to do a lot of things in the future, but before that, he need to study hard.
And what do you decide?
He couldn't realize about that matter, so.
He couldn't realize?
To study hard.
So like he couldn't realize about that matter. It's like it was impossible for him to. I mean, realize is just a weird.
Okay, then he hate studying hard, so he forget what he thought about the future.
Yeah, maybe so he decides to forget about maybe like his dreams for the future. Can you read that last sentence one more time?
He hates studying hard, so he decided to forget about his dreams for the future.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it. It's pretty solid. I think we're good. Does anybody have any questions on this page? All right, let's try making a story about school. I'm not really sure. You guys can start it out. But maybe Edson, how would you start out this story about somebody in school?
Once upon a time, a guy he was studying a lot for exam at home, but nobody could help him because he was alone, and he had to call off his friend to help him choose with some questions. He called and his friend helped him with that, and he went to do the exam.
Okay, so he called his friend who helped him,
Yeah, who helped him?
and he went to take the exam. All right. Ana Carolina?
He was surprised and happy because he knew all answers, and he took the test really carefully. But he had to pass the the answers from the test to a card.
This sounds familiar.
Yes, and he decided to take a break. He ate a chocolate to relax, and then he started to cross the axis. But when he got on the 12th question, it dawned on her that she had started from the second page instead.
It dawned on
It,
him that
it
he
dawned on
started.
him he started from the second page instead, and he asked the supervisor to change the card, but the supervisor said no,
Okay.
it's not possible.
But the supervisor said no. We need an article.
All the answers.
Nice. And oh. So Heidi, because once upon a time a guy was studying for an exam, but no one could help him because he
Okay,
was
okay.
alone.
I thought it started from him.
No. Yeah, it took me a second to realize what was happening too. Simone, how would you continue this story?
So at that point, he decided to pretend that he was having a heart attack to try to get second chance. And the examiner was really, really scared and called the ambulance.
Oh no.
Everybody in the class was screaming and desperate, trying to help him. I would do this.
This sounds terrible. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the only chance, maybe.
Yeah, wow. So at this point, he decided to pretend that he was having a heart attack. It was good, really good grammar. Heidi, how would you
Thanks.
continue?
A doctor checked him, and he said, this student doesn't have any problem in his heart.
Oh no.
He reported it to the school.
Oh.
Then he was kicked out.
No. Then he was kicked out.
You should
Maybe mental problems.
you should look for some job.
You should look for some job. Okay. Yeah, that sounded really good. Good grammar. Giulietta, what happened next?
So, um, a little bit hopeless, he went to friend house and mm, they decided to buy a boat and to start a cruise and decided to buy a boat
Mhm.
and start a cruise and they mm, the first the first the first mm, I don't know first it's the word first um stop first first stop was a Greek island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea.
Wow. I hate that word. Mediterranean. Can anybody type that in really quickly in the chat box? It's one of the words that I just do.
I think it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah?
Hmm.
I always look at it and it just looks wrong to me. Perfect. Sorry. And Edson, how would you continue?
Unfortunately, the
Oh,
boat was.
sorry. Hold up. Possessive pronoun, Julieta.
What?
Possessive pronoun.
His friend's house.
Yep. Perfect. All right, Edson. Sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
Unfortunately, they didn't know how to pilot the boat, and they tried to go by themselves, and was really terrible because they got into a earthquake, and it was not possible to stop the boat at that moment, and they realized that they needed to come back to the beach as soon as possible because of that problem. And some sharks start turning around the boat and try to eat the boat. And they got in trouble. They got crazy because they didn't know how to deal with that situation.
Maybe they were going. They were going crazy
They got going crazy.
because they didn't know how to deal with that situation. All right, good. They got into an earthquake on a boat.
Oh no, earthquake we know is a tornado.
Tornado in the ocean.
Tornado? No, I don't know. I don't know.
Does anybody know what word he's looking for?
Tsunami or something.
It could be a
Yeah,
tsunami, but generally a
maybe.
tsunami in the ocean, it's pretty chill. It's when it
It's
like
like
gets,
cyclone.
yeah, okay. A cyclone or a
Cyclone.
hurricane is the word we're
The
looking for.
word seaquake exists?
I don't think so. It would be an earthquake under the sea, which could create a tsunami, which still wouldn't be that big of a problem in a boat. Generally, just so like if you've got like a seabed, which was this, and then we've got the ocean above, where it's really deep. You get like big round waves. So like here, it'd be like a big wave, and then nothing. But like a boat can kind of deal with that. What happens with a tsunami is that it gets close to shore and then it like really increases because it's bouncing off of the ground, which is getting closer. Um, so tsunamis in like the ocean aren't like the most devastating things. Um, It's when you get close to shore. Anyways, um, okay. Anna Carolina, can you keep going?
I can try. Let me see. They- okay, the guy was really down in the dumps because everything was going awry in his life, and he took his bottom dollar and went to a lottery store to bet it.
How did he get out of the boat?
I don't know. They before, okay, they were rescued by in by a helicopter, and they got home.
They got home, but they lost the boat.
They lost the boat. They lost everything, even
Yeah.
their hopes.
Nice. Even their hope. Their hope.
Okay.
Nice.
And then uh, the next day, he won the lottery. He bought the school. He fired the director, the principal. He fired the principal, the supervisor, everyone who had harmed him,
Oh.
and he lived happily ever after.
Oh, well, I'm going to skip that next part because I'm excited to hear what Simone has to say after that.
Oh my gosh. Um, and then after 1 hour, he woke up with a headache because this was the craziest dream he has ever had.
He has ever had?
No, I don't know. He had
He had ever had.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sorry. Good. That was nice. That was really well done. Kind of funny. And on a side note, it's really weird because I just met a friend down here who uh, got on a boat with a kid who came into a boat, and they tried to sail from Panama to Colombia, and they sailed through a hurricane, apparently, and they lost the boat, and they almost died, and they were shipwrecked on an island.
Whoa.
And they were rescued by a fisherman who, like, shuttled them illegally into the country. They were, like, shot at by soldiers. It was the most unbelievable story I've ever heard.
This is a movie.
Yeah, but like a real story. This guy is just like, yeah, I was so mad at this kid who just, he's like, I knew how to sail. And he was, like, during the hurricane, he was, like, throwing up the whole time. And so it was him and a French kid who kind of knew how to sail, who were, like, trying to rescue them. And they didn't have any lights in the boat, apparently. So there were no lights. And they were, they got stranded in the middle of a shipping lane because they had their sails up, because otherwise they would lose the mast. And they had to, like, get out of the way of the ship because they didn't have any lights. And then they lost all of their sails in the middle of a hurricane, which is just, like, nuts. Anyways, that reminds me of a story. Yeah.
Wow.
Figured I'd share that with you guys just because I was pleased to hear it. Yeah. But he got into Colombia, and then he just got kicked out, actually. He got kicked out back to Panama, so he's back in Panama right now, which is just horrible. I feel so bad for this kid. Anyways, does anybody have any questions on this page? No questions. Okay. Let's go back to some questions, actually. Simone finished. So, Simone, can you ask Heidi the first question?
What are the skills that separate good students from bad students?
The skill? Um, to lie.
To lie?
To lie. Skill.
Okay. Maybe how would you make it into a complete sentence?
The the skills what separate good student from bad student is to lie or lying.
Is we would use something in front. An article and a noun.
What is it?
Ability.
Uh-huh.
And what article would we use?
Is ability. Is an ability to lie.
You were actually right the first time. It's the ability to lie.
The ability to lie.
Okay. I mean, can you explain that?
For example, you reach the school a little later, but if you have an ability to lie, you can say, today my mother needed to go to the hospital.
Okay.
Without any hesitation.
All right. And so that could help you out, you know.
So that teacher thinks it's true. So that student might be good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I guess lying could always help out. Yeah. All right. And Heidi, can you ask Juliet the next question?
The school uniform is good to have. Why or why not?
Here, all kids have uniforms, and they have a very similar uniform, and they seem all going to work, all for the same work. So thinking that they are wearing that for 10, 12 years, it's quite sad.
Yeah. Your kids have uniforms and they have a very not a very similar uniform. Because they have uniforms.
They are all the same.
Yeah. Or they are all very similar. Or they all have very similar uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem
that they are going, like
yeah.
they are all going to work.
Yeah. Not going to work, all for the same work. So thinking that they will wear that for 10 to 12 years, it's quite sad. All right, so you don't agree that they should have uniforms?
Well, my opinion, it's really weird because they look like adults, and they are, I don't know, they are uniformed.
Yeah. They're uniformed. Okay. Maybe in some ways it could be like outdated, this idea of like being uniformed. But also, like, what good does it do? Like, what is the argument behind uniforms, Edson? Like, why could uniforms be good? Like, what can be good about them?
It's me?
Yeah, Edson.
Okay. Uniforms are good because let's see one situation where they are in a excursion, like they are in the zoo, for example. And if you one guy gets lost, what's happened that he can be identified by his uniform and he can contact the group.
Hmm.
Where are the group, where is the group, and then can be with the group again,
Subject.
and then he can be.
Good. All right. So that's one good thing about uniforms. If you're going on a trip, you can always tell where your person is. Anna Carolina, what's something good or bad about uniforms?
What is good is that might avoid bullying because no one will figure out who are the poorer people and who are the richer people,
Hmm.
and everyone will be the same. And what is bad? Because it's boring. People cannot show their personalities, and each one is singular. No one is equal.
Hmm.
And people don't like uniforms.
Okay. Yes, some people don't like uniforms. Some people do like uniforms. Um, yeah, this is like just a broad statement. That was good. Um, maybe Heidi, what about you? Can you think of anything like good or bad that hasn't been said?
In Japan, almost all schools, school students are forced to wear the uniform.
Or forced?
Forced. It's mandatory.
Uh-huh.
But I don't like that.
Why not?
For example, elementary school students, they use the uniform for 6 years. They are growing up, so they need to use 3 years and 3 years like that. They are very active. A uniform is quite expensive compared to normal clothes.
Yeah.
So it's dirty for me.
Yeah. Nice. So maybe instead of saying it's dirty for me, which is like implying that like it's like something that you have that is dirty. So I think would be a little bit better. I think it's kind of dirty.
It's kind of dirty.
Yeah. Good. Really well done. Yeah, the fact that uniforms are expensive too is kind of a pain in the neck. But good. And we are out of time. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully you enjoyed class, and hopefully I'll see you guys again. I've got a class in a little while, maybe in the afternoon.
Thank you. Take care.